You know the feeling. You walk back through your front door, the house is quiet, and your dog looks up at you from the rug. Everything seems fine. But then you turn the corner and see the mangled remains of a sofa cushion spread across the floor. Most of us try to assign a human motive to this. We assume the dog was bored, acting out, or maybe trying to punish us for leaving them behind. To find out what actually happens, researchers started leaving cameras running inside homes to watch the exact moment the front door clicks shut. The footage shows a sequence of biological reactions that triggers within seconds of the owner's departure. What looks like bad behavior is actually the physical manifestation of a nervous system entering a state of high alert panic. This chart shows the timeline of a dog's distress, mapped out by researchers at the University of Milan. On average, the whining and barking starts only 3 minutes after you leave. By minute 7, that frantic pacing turns into destructive behavior. That is how quickly the shoes or the rug become at risk. If you watch the extended timeline, something deceiving happens. After that first frantic phase, the physical noise stops. From the outside, the house sounds settled. But this new line representing heart rate and panting stays high, pulsing in silent spikes of panic roughly every 25 minutes. Compare that to dogs without separation issues. When researchers in Sweden filmed a calm control group, those dogs spent 97% of their alone time completely passive and resting. A silent dog can still be a highly distressed one. In many cases, physical passivity is simply a mask for an exhausting, invisible loop of biological stress. This stress cycle begins long before you even reach for the doorknob. Your dog watches your routine and links every step together in reverse. Checking your phone leads to putting on shoes, which leads to grabbing keys. To a dog's brain, each of these actions is a signal. By the time you reach the door, they have already processed a chain of events that means they are about to be isolated. For years, the common advice was to scramble these signals, to pick up keys randomly throughout the day. But recent studies show that breaking the routine often fails to help. Instead of feeling safe, the dog feels a sense of uncertainty because they can no longer predict their environment. Your dog is experiencing the anticipatory dread of losing you, combined with the feeling of having no control over what happens next. How we react when we return to the house can inadvertently make this cycle more intense. The Royal Veterinary College tracked nearly 150 dogs to figure out what predicts these problems. Surprisingly, they found that long emotional goodbyes at the door have no significant effect on a dog's long-term anxiety levels. The real trigger is the return. When an owner comes home to a mess and reacts with visible frustration, the dog cannot connect that anger to the rug they chewed 3 hours ago. Instead, they learn to associate your arrival with a feeling of fear or bracing for a reaction. In the 1960s, psychologist Martin Seligman documented a condition called learned helplessness. He found that when animals face prolonged stress they cannot escape, their brains eventually default to passivity. They stop trying to change the outcome and simply shut down. A 2019 Swedish study added another layer to this. By measuring hormones in hair samples over several months, researchers found that a dog's long-term stress levels synchronize with their owners. If your dog absorbs your daily stress and then learns to fear your arrival, the two ends of your absence become linked. This turns the entire day into a continuous loop of anticipatory anxiety. This deep biological reaction is why most consumer quick fixes fail to reach the root of the problem. Bringing home a second dog often fails because the distress is tied to one specific person. Similarly, distractions like televisions or food-filled toys only work until the noise stops or the food is gone. Once that distraction ends, the physical panic returns. You cannot treat the 8 hours you are out of the house with a distraction. True intervention requires changing the environment during the 16 hours you are home. The only consistently proven solution relies on patience and rebuilding your dog's baseline of trust through very tiny increments of progress. This process involves starting with micro absences. You might walk to the door, touch the handle, and come right back inside. By repeating this, you build a history of returning so slowly that the dog's nervous system never has a chance to trigger a panic response. This chart tracks a typical recovery. The beginning feels absurdly slow, but researchers note a specific tipping point. Once a dog accumulates enough evidence to tolerate roughly 40 minutes of absence without distress, their capacity to wait scales quickly to a full workday. In severe cases, veterinarians may prescribe medication to lower the dog's internal stress levels. This makes it possible for their brain to actually process and learn these new, safe routines. This training reteaches the nervous system a new reality, that the door closing and the door opening are part of the same predictable cycle. When a dog destroys a room, their nervous system is simply reacting to an overwhelming, profound sense of loss. By keeping your own stress low and showing them hundreds of safe, quiet returns, you can recalibrate their world. You can show them that the door always opens again. What is the specific clue your dog picks up on before you leave the house?